it was surprising to see how all the companies compared to one another across different industries. Our research has historically been quite industry by industry focused. So we're really comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges. And it hasn't really been a part of our methodology to look at companies across a range of different industries and say, where do the financial services companies fit in relative to the tech hardware companies, relative to the oil and gas companies. And so that was an interesting process to really see how different companies how those different industries were intersecting. And I think what we saw, and I think it makes a lot of sense, is that the companies with some of the lowest exposure and impact that were still investing a lot of resources into their environmental management and disclosure were outperforming a lot of their peers. And typically we think of those underexposed. I mean, for example, an insurance company came in number one in Europe, and we don't think of the insurance sector first and foremost when we think of environmental change. But the fact that Munich Re, for example, was doing so much in terms of its environmental management and initiatives, and at the same time had a very minimal overall environmental footprint, was really accounted for the large part of their score. And so that sort of discounted maybe some of the other companies that we tend to think of as leaders that are doing a lot in terms of their management and disclosure, but at the same time are having a pretty seriously adverse environmental impact. So it was interesting to see how they all stacked up against one another when we brought it all together.